Alright, so now that we've seen what are AOVs, let's import them into Nuke. And so I will navigate to the material folder that comes with this course, and I will go to the source folder, and I will drag and drop the spaceships onto the node graph to create array nodes. And here we are. So all those AOVs are actually inside that array node. And how I know that? Well, because I can see that here I do have the red, green, blue, and alpha channels, but I as well have other things inside this array node because I do have my little green square here. So let's come over here and check in the drop-down menu, and I can see I have a lot of different render passes. I can view all of them by using the layer contact sheet node. Alright, this is a little bit confusing because Nuke actually called those guys layers. The render passes, they call them layers. And so don't get confused by two things. We have the render passes that eventually Nuke call layers here, but what we actually call a render layer is actually one element that we are going to place on the top or behind another one. So here, the spaceship is our render layer. And within that render layer, we have different render passes. You can have this kind of thing like with multi-layer EXR files like we have here, or sometimes as well you will come over with something looking like that and just go back to the material folder and go inside the ocean and city, select all the folders and import them into your node graph. And here I will select the nodes and hit the L key to just align them. And here it's the same thing as we have here, except that we have one read node per render pass. So basically our second render layer is all this thing. Let's create a backdrop just to make it clear, and let's call that backdrop BG. Okay, so here we have one render layer and we have all its render passes. And here we have another render layer with all the different render passes. All right. Okay, let's keep importing everything else that we need for this shot. So we'll go back to the material folder and I will import the ocean and city matte. And I will take as well the chips crypto assets, and I will go in the SkyDome and I will import as well the file that we downloaded in the first video of this chapter. There we go. So basically this will be another layer of our comp. It will be the sky. It's not a render layer because it's an image, but it's another layer. So layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3 right here. All right. Okay, cool. So we do have all the elements that we need. Let's make sure that our project is set properly. So for that, I want to make sure that the frame range is right and the size format as well. So when I imported the first read node into my node graph, normally automatically Nuke adjusts the timeline according to that read node. I can see that the frame range is from 10 to 90 and my timeline is from 10 to 90. We are going to go to the project settings just to make sure. So we'll hit the S key while my mouse is on the top of the node graph. And here I will make sure that the frame range is from 10 to 90. If it's different on your end, please change it. And here I will change the full size format to 1920 by 832. I will choose that guy, which corresponds to the render of the ships here. So we'll check that guy. Perfect. And now let's save the comp. I will go to 5, save comp. And I will come to the Nuke folder inside the material folder. And this is where I am going to save the scripts for this course, but you can save them wherever you want. And I will actually override that file that I already created a little bit earlier, and I will click on save. Okay, tac, yes. All right, we are good to go. Now let's move on to the next clip to see how I will actually work with all those files. See you there.